A record number of Americans are reportedly leaving the United States permanently, not just moving states, not just taking vacations, actually leaving the country, and in some cases, even giving up their U.S. citizenship altogether. According to new reports, 2025 may have marked the first net population loss from Americans moving abroad since the Great Depression. Think about how insane that is. For basically 2 centuries, America was the place everybody wanted to move to. Now thousands are trying to figure out how to get out. And the reasons people are giving? Unaffordable housing, sky-high living costs, political division, burnout, people saying they feel like they're surviving instead of thriving. One poll found that 1 in 5 Americans would permanently leave the country if they could. Mexico has become one of the biggest destinations. Europe is seeing record numbers of Americans relocating, and the number of people officially renouncing citizenship has exploded compared to past decades. Before 2009, only a few hundred Americans gave up citizenship each year. Now, it's nearing 5,000 annually. That's not normal. And honestly, whether you're left, you're right, independent, whatever, this should probably set off alarm bells for everybody, because when people start giving up on the country itself, that's bigger than politics.
I don't understand how fucked up America gotta be for you to work hard and still have no fucking where to go. It's just like, oh my gosh, when is it all going to end? Like, y'all, it's so bad to the point where even though you work, you more than likely can't even eat every day. Not even 3 times a day. Me, none. Yet they expect us to keep working with a smile on our face. Fuck all of that. I be seeing why people don't fucking want to work. They pay us a little bit of money, but make everything fucking expensive. I'll be damned if I'm putting my life on the line for $14, $15. And then the whole time, your ass can get hurt or die at the fucking job you're at. So now you done fucking wasted your whole life being a hard worker to a company that don't give a fuck about what you got going on. Don't give a fuck that you don't have nowhere to go. Just don't give a good goddamn. And certain people will never understand the frustration. You guys will never understand unless you're going through it. There is no reason why hard workers can't afford to eat, can't afford to live, can't afford to pay rent. It is so much. And I just wanted to let everybody out there know, okay? If you are deciding to bring your ass to America, hold on, y'all. Stay the fuck over there. Do not come over here. Please. I beg of you. This shit sucks. All prayers to all my Americans, all my USA motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, my cousins, all that. We gotta figure something out, because this ain't gonna work for me.
Have you checked on your American friends lately? Because we're not okay. The past 10 days has felt like a year. For so many of us right now, we cannot keep up with all of these horrific executive orders coming down hour after hour, day after day in the first 10 days. Add to that the first commercial plane crash in over a dozen years, claiming the lives of everyone involved. It is genuinely looking bleak over here for a lot of us. We are doing our best not to have our spirits crushed. And as somebody who works in mental health, I can tell you this feels like COVID all over again. It is my job to help other people day in and day out. And I'm struggling. And I know I am not the only one in this position. Healthcare providers in this country are struggling. I know we have so many allies all over the world, and we appreciate it so immensely. And there are so many things that I wish we could take a page from you right now, because in this country, we are going sideways so fast, and many of us do not know what to do to stop it. Thank you for listening. I needed to get that off my chest. Please go ahead and follow me on my other platforms in case this ever gets banned again in America. Go figure.
Today's my last day here in my house. Tomorrow I leave for Bali indefinitely, and it just feels like very bittersweet, so surreal. And I truly, I love my house. I love my house This has been my home for the past year and a half, where I've really sought refuge. This has been my haven. And yes, I'm moving to Bali, and it's very bittersweet, and it sucks. I just I can't live here anymore. My children are here. I don't really speak to my family, but my children live here. They're 14 and 18 years old. I just don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. I have lived here almost 40 years of my life. There's so much more to the world. There's so much more to the world than just this little piece of backyard, this house. There's so much to see, and I don't want to see it only 2 times a year, only 2 weeks a year. I want a vacation. I want to travel for all my life, but just know that there are sacrifices. There are sacrifices that are made, and this is one of them, having to give up my house yet again, willingly, but having to do this in order to get to what I want. This is the closing of a chapter and the beginning of another one, and it's beautiful, it's bittersweet, but at the same time it's the bitter part now. It's the bitter part now.
I'm a United States American. If I cry, it's because I'm frustrated. It's hard to talk about this without being frustrated. Okay, I felt that it might be a good idea to be prepared just in case the worst happens in the United States, but at this point, I think I even keep moving that line about what is acceptable and what is not for a country's government to do to their people. And I keep moving that line for myself and for what I feel is safe. I have a passport, but I don't know what the fuck to do. My whole life is here. You know, everyone's whole life is here. And my family's here. And I know that if I go, I'm not coming back. The things that are happening to the people living in this country, and the things that my country is doing to other countries, is inhumane. And I don't want my money to go towards any of that. I don't want to pay taxes here. I want a future. Sorry. I'm just so tired of gaslighting myself into thinking that if I stay here and work hard enough and be good, that I will have a good life. I was told a while back that my viral I'm an American video is quite popular in China to talk about something that they call the kill line for Americans. And that's where we are basically one bad thing away from being homeless. Even if this government goes away and we get some new people, I think that the way my country is set up is to not let us succeed. I think we are intentionally set up to fail. And my whole adult life, I thought something was fucking wrong with me because I couldn't succeed here. I have essentially malnutritioned myself into the point of perimenopause at the age of 35. You're not supposed to live like this for a lot of time. Everyone meet Chippy. My hormones are fucked. My energy is fucked. My emotions obviously are fucked. Although I feel like this is a rational moment to feel like this. I don't feel like a 35-year-old. It isn't right to have to live off of like super processed food and live in a house that has fucking mold in it and like be more and more in debt every fucking day just by existing. And I don't want to have to make this choice for myself. It's not in me to abandon people, and it's not in me to give up on a fight. That's for sure. But when do I get to be selfish and want my own... Sorry for crying. This is embarrassing as shit. When do I get to begin to live my life as a United States citizen? When does that start? I'm 35.
If you are not a US citizen, don't come to this country. If you are here and you're not a US citizen, I don't care what kind of documentation you have, and I don't care how long you're staying, whether it's for a week or years, go. If you can go, go. And I know this is what they want, and I hate it because I love to be like, resist. But ending up in an ICE detention facility is not an act of resistance. And it does not matter if you are white passing. It does not matter how smart you are or what you're contributing, or if you're just visiting and you're a tourist. Don't. It's not safe here. We're not safe. They are detaining U.S. citizens. They are detaining tourists. There was a 28-year-old backpacker, a young woman, who is now in an ICE detention facility. It does not matter. If you're leaving and I can come with you, I would love that. Let me know how to do that. I have a master's degree and I'm a very nice person. I'll be very good to your country. But this ain't the place. Get out while you can. And do not send your kids here as foreign exchange students. Do not send them on a student visa. Do not think you're going to come over here and do some kind of medical residency or scientific research. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't marry somebody from here. Don't do it. We're not safe. We're not a good country. We're under authoritarian rule at this point. So, sorry about that. Fucking sucks. Bye.
Arguably, America's most effective propaganda campaign has been to convince its own citizens that life outside the US is unsafe. But when Americans travel abroad, they start to see that even in other countries, people still go to work, kids go to school. Society functions. Meanwhile, we hear Mexico means cartels, Costa Rica's too expensive, Colombia's too dangerous, and Finland is just too close to Russia. But what doesn't get mentioned is that Finland is rated as the happiest country in the world, and Costa Rica and Mexico are also in the top 10. Meanwhile, the United States has fallen to the mid-20s, which is its lowest ranking ever. Some of these countries also tend to rank higher in the quality of healthcare and overall quality of life. What surprises people is not that life abroad is better. It's just how exaggerated this fear has been. And that fear has not come from real life experience. It came from us being told the same story over and over and over again until it started to sound true. So for the people who have spent real time abroad, the hardest realization has been just how much of this narrative we bought into without ever actually questioning it.
This brother right here is preaching. He said, only in America can you find a kid wearing $150 tennis shoes, drinking a $10 cup of coffee, typing on a $1,500 cell phone. We got to factor in inflation now. $1,500 cell phone, complaining on social media that he or she or they or those or somewhere in between is oppressed and that capitalism has failed. Never in my life have I witnessed so much complaining from individuals who live in the lap of luxury. Let me tell y'all a little something. I was born in a small African country by the name of Zimbabwe. Zimbabweans have been experiencing an upwards to 80% unemployment rate for the last decade plus. Zimbabwe had a dictator for over 25 years in a row. Bruh did not leave. He changed the constitution every month to fit whatever he wanted to do that month. Okay? We moved to this side of the planet because we didn't want to be in that. As much love as I have for back home, there's a reason why billions of people on this planet are trying to break into this nation or trying to make their way somehow into this country. And yet, those who are born directly into this privilege are the ones who are hooping and hollering about the ills of capitalism. Bruh, I would recommend that every one of our social media socialists, right? Because that's what y'all are. All our social media socialists, please.
This is incredible news.
Take a single trip to a genuinely socialist / communistic country. I'm not talking about them cutesy little European countries that have social reform and social programs, right? But are really free market enterprise. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about take your butt over to the Little Rocket Man.
Wow.
You know who I'm talking about. Take yourself to the Little Rocket Man and see how you fare over there. Then you can come back and tell me of the beauty of such a system, right? Take a little trip down to Venezuela, then you can let me know. But until then,
Bad news for Middle East.
I don't want to hear it.
Okay, hear me out. regime change, but in the United States. A lot of people don't remember, but in 2021, there was a revolution happening against the people and Wall Street. Thousands of people were on subreddit Wall Street Bets. It was a forum where people were basically like, the hedge funds and billionaires are undervaluing GameStop. So what did people do? They bought and held stock in mass, okay? These were regular people with 9-to-5 jobs who poured their life savings, whatever little thousands of dollars that they had, they poured it in to buying GameStop. And the stock options went from $20 to $400. People were making hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. And hedge funds that betted against GameStop lost billions of dollars. And you know what they did? The forum where people were organizing Wall Street Bets, they freeze it. Right? So people can't have access to each other. And then you know what Robinhood does, which is where people were buying the stocks? They freeze the option to buy, forcing people only to sell, leaving the only option to sell. People played by the rules and they fucking changed the rules. When people played by the rules, they changed the rules. Isn't that suppression? Right now, Larry Ellison, the Zionist billionaire, bought TikTok because we were talking about Palestine a little too much for him. Isn't that suppression? Because they want to be the only entity that informs you. They want to have control of the information war. They don't want us to tell you the truth. Isn't that suppression? Did our country not just commit a genocide for 3 years? Did they not just kill hundreds of thousands of Palestinians in Gaza? Didn't they target 300 Palestinian journalists? They killed 300 Palestinian journalists. What are the grounds for regime change? Are they not killing people in the streets? Isn't ICE and the police killing people today, this morning? Someone in Minnesota was killed by ICE. Yesterday, a 5-year-old was kidnapped by ICE. And that's a 5-year-old that you know about. ICE loses thousands of kids every year. They get trafficked and no one gives a fuck. Like, what are the grounds for regime change in the United States? Is there not an ongoing investigation of the Epstein files that implicate all of our politicians, former presidents and present presidents that are part of these Epstein files? Is our country not run by pedos? Like, what are the grounds for regime change here? But you guys are so quick to support any regime change in the global south. But I'm just curious as to what does it take to demand regime change here in the United States? You know what I mean? What do you think this country would do to us if we were out in the streets demanding regime change? You think they would be like, it's fine, honey, as long as it's peaceful? They're killing peaceful protesters right now. I'm so curious as to what this double standard is.
Americans, do you know what is absolutely crazy? The fact that your country now feels more like home than our own country. I've lived in London for 29 years, but now I feel like America is my home, which is crazy because I have visited many different countries and I have never had that feeling before. Even people, when they're meeting us now, they're like, welcome home. All over TikTok, everyone's like, welcome home. It feels so good. Like, why does this feel like our home? Why do I feel so at home in America compared to anywhere else? I've visited loads of countries before, but here it just feels like I belong in this country more than anywhere else. I love how proud you guys are. I love how enthusiastic you guys are. I love everything about this country, and I really do not enjoy going back to London now. When me and Shana go back to London, we honestly get depression and we're like, when are we going back to our home, America? Goodness me, what have you guys done to us? What has America done to me and Shana? It's the best feeling in the world. Like, I feel so at home here. I can't wait to eventually move to this country. We're gonna have to start getting the visa process going because I've heard that it can be very long and very painful. But yeah, thank you guys, thank you America. I love this country so much.
This administration, this orange man, this fucking president has taken this motherfucking country and put it in a motherfucking shithole. We're laughed at. We're a fucking joke. Our allies don't fucking support us. They can't fucking trust us. Our closest motherfucking allies, like Canada and Mexico, don't even give a fuck about them. We're cutting fucking deals with China and any fucking body else because they can't rely on us. Our fucking people, the American people, are suffering. Housing, motherfucking medical, fucking food. You can't get shit in this fucking country. You can't even put any fucking gas in your fucking car. And these motherfuckers lie to you constantly, 24/7. The motherfucking national media doesn't even want to carry him addressing the fucking nation. That tells you something right there. When the fuck have you seen the president of the United States not get coverage to sit up here and address the fucking nation? Let's not talk about our own law enforcement turning on American fucking people, killing us, harassing us, and asking us to show fucking paper. That would be the colored people of fucking color. Let's not talk about the fucking troops in a fucking ridiculous fucking war that didn't have to be a war because we had a fucking treaty with Iran and it was no fucking problem. But he tore it the fuck up because he had a better deal. This is a better fucking deal. If you want to affect change, if you want to turn this motherfucker around, you got to get your ass out and vote. But more importantly, the people that you put the fuck in, and I'm saying the fucking Democrats, because that's your only motherfucking alternative right now, you need to make sure them motherfuckers know that their mandate is to hold these motherfuckers accountable.
Do Americans have more hours in their day? Because tell me why, I've just found out that their average commute to work is 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. You could not pay me to go to a job and have to commute 30 minutes there and 30 minutes back. Absolutely not. What in the world do Americans class as a road trip? Because anything over 20 minutes, that's classed as a road trip to me. I am not just willy-nilly driving 30 minutes anywhere. You drove 30 minutes here in England, you'd be in a completely different postcode with a completely different accent, completely different types of folks. I would get a new job. I'm sorry, there is no way in hell I'm driving 30 minutes to get paid. That's crazy. I just can't compute in my head. And then there's Americans out there who will drive 4 hours to just do an activity or go to the beach. That is mind-boggling that you're taking 4 hours out of your day to go to the beach. I could go to the beach probably here in an hour, and I'm nowhere near even a beach anywhere, but I could probably get to a beach in an hour.
Y'all, as an American living in London, I'm really fighting for my life out here trying to defend America. I cannot tell you guys how many times someone has heard my accent and realized I'm from America, and they're like, oh, America seems cool, but I would never move there because y'all have too many guns and y'all get shot every single day. Which, to be fair, is a valid point, but I'm like, I don't know if I've just become so desensitized to the rampant gun violence in America that I'm just like, okay, like it's not that deep, which is horrible because it 100% is that deep. But I'm just like, I'm shocked. Like literally all Americans are known for overseas, because this hasn't just happened in London. This has happened in quite a few other countries as well. Everyone just, when they think of America, they think of guns. America is synonymous with guns. And I'm just like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what to say, because we also don't know what's going on. Like we don't know why our politicians are putting profits over lives. Like nobody knows what's going on. And I just feel like every single time somebody comments on it, I'm just like, dang, like America has so much more to it. But to be fair, like there is a huge gun violence problem. I don't know. I'm running out of things to say. Like I'm running out of things to say, ways to defend America. I feel like patriotic Patty. And I really want to say, give America a chance. Like, yes, there's a lot of gun violence, but there's so many other things that America has to offer. But like that's an issue. Like nobody wants to visit a country and be worried for their life. Like this is so bad, and I generally just don't know what to say anymore.
So I was in London for less than 24 hours and learned something that may or may not have triggered an identity crisis within me. So I met up with a friend and I was talking with this guy, and he asked me where I was from. And I said, yeah, I'm from the United States. I'm just visiting for the day. And he said he was from London. And he said he was born and raised there. And I was like, oh, cool. So you're English. And he was like, no, I'm Nigerian. And I was like, but you said you were born here. Like, when they make you English? And he was like, no, well, my family is from Nigeria, so I'm Nigerian. And he said, well, where's your family from? And I said, the United States. And he said, no, well, where did they come, like, before that? And I was like, well, my ancestors were enslaved, so I don't know. I just know that I'm black. And we just, like, stared at each other for a little bit after that. But I am shocked that black people outside of the United States, like, know where they come from. But then I just thought, no wonder we made a black culture, because we didn't really have one.
Right, so I'm thinking about this right now, right? I live in America. If I were to get off work at a reasonable time, like I usually do around 3 o'clock every day, and I went to a bar and I got a drink, 1, I would be looked at as alcoholic. 2, no one would be in there. And then 3, even if I got off around 5, I had a traditional 9 to 5 job. and I went after, no one would be out unless it was like for some event that your company was working at. Usually you go home, you work out, you shower, you eat, you go to sleep. You do the same thing Monday through Friday. Like, I really miss being in England, and like literally it doesn't matter what time of day. Lunch, you go in for a quick pint and a quick bite to eat. After, you're meeting up with your mates to talk about life and enjoy life out of work. Like, you enjoy your time post work. Like, work is just such a small fraction of like what life really is. Here in America, I've realized since I've came back, is like, it is so work. Nothing else really matters. Like, fuck that mentality, man. I'm not wanting to do that anymore. I can't. Like, seeing the beauty of like, you literally have a backpack or your little case that your laptop's in. You just go straight to the pub and get on the piss at night. Not even on the piss, just like 2 to 3 pints. Like, and just enjoy life, man. And talk with your mates, phone down. Hey, don't get that here, man, at all.
Y'all do know that people outside of the United States of America do not identify with race, but instead identify with ethnic origin and or nationality, okay? So I'm tired of hearing the I know black, I Dominican shit, even though sometimes it do be funny, but a lot of the times it dead ass be mad disturbing, because they're not the only group of people that does that. You know, like, if you're Caribbean, if you're from Latino America, if you're Jamaican, Grenadian, Bayesian, Trini, Mexican, Cuban, Panamanian, Nicaraguan, Panamanian, all these other things, like, they do not identify by race either. They identify by their ethnic origin and or nationality, okay? So it gets annoying to have to keep explaining this to people within the United States. Until you leave the United States and you realize that people don't identify by race, but rather by nationality, then you will understand why you have Dominicans that say, I know black, I Dominican. Because people do not identify, specifically in the Dominican Republic, people do not identify by race. Now, I'm not taking away from the xenophobic behaviors that are exhibited by many Dominicans or many racist and discriminatory things they might say. But what I'm telling you is how it works in these countries. They do not identify by race, okay? Not even one bit.
A lot of black Americans asking why Africans hate them, and I'm going to answer the question for you. Number one, this American ego transcends race. It doesn't matter if you're white American, brown American, or black American. There seems to be like this ego that makes you think that you are the main character wherever you go. Therefore, when you go to places in Africa, you get surprised when you're treated like just another tourist. I've heard people saying stuff like, they only cared about my dollars. Yeah, this is a supermarket. You've gone there expecting a kinship and connection with people whose history diverges from your history. When those slave ships took off, the countries that, you came from, they went on. There were still things happening to them, and there's still things happening to them today. Your history isn't as shared as you think that it is. There isn't this kind of black kind of community in a lot of countries in Africa because everyone's black. I would get it if you were in Sweden and you're walking past another black person and they didn't smile at you, and it's like, we are the only black people here, like, in this city. I'd get it. But you can't go to Africa and expect black people to care that you're black. And also, it's not even just it's not a hate of black Americans. There's a hatred of Americans in general. A lot of places do not have a great history with America. And while it's very much clear to us that we can live in countries like England with terrible histories and who are right now selling billions of pounds and arming places like Israel, we can understand that within these countries there are different politics, there's different dynamics, there's still social hierarchies. You cannot expect people who are on the receiving end of the violence of the countries that we live in to care that we are not at the top of the social hierarchy here. But I get called European child by my own relatives who I am literally biologically related to. Because nobody cares, because I was raised in Europe, so I might as well be white to them. You can't go to other countries and bring the race dynamics of your countries to theirs. And there are places where you go where people won't treat you like that. People will accept you and will be like, oh, I'm so happy that you're here. But you guys keep going to places that are heavily populated by tourists, by American soldiers, and a lot of these American soldiers are black. And then you're acting surprised when people aren't that, shocked and happy to see you. So to conclude, it's not that they hate you, it's that they don't care about you.
I know why Americans are so loud. Let me tell you. So my husband is from the UK and I spend a lot of time in Europe, specifically England. And the one thing that I cannot get behind is this biased idea that Americans are super loud, obnoxious, and rude. It fails to notice some pretty serious cultural differences. And it's also not even true. I live near the Arsenal Stadium. I can tell you when I'm taking a train, when the game lets out, it is not quiet. You guys are not quiet. But I think it comes down to communication styles. Even in this comment section, you'll see a lot of people say, they're always chattering and talking over each other. Yes, it is a Jewish talking style, according to linguists. And the New York City area is extremely influenced by Jewish culture. So are areas on the opposite coast. I guarantee in the middle or in the south, you'll find that communication style a lot less. But for us, it's how we relate. When we speak over someone we're talking to, we are interjecting to say, I hear you, I empathize with you. Now keep going with your story. To me, a very English talking style feels a little bit more one-sided. You have to wait for someone to be totally done, to be allowed. You essentially have to wait for someone to allow you to speak. And I've noticed conversations move a lot slower and people babble a lot more unnecessarily. It's just less efficient. Number 2 is the volume. Now, it was explained to me that in English culture, maybe it's the same all over Great Britain, I don't know.